Dr. Rubin, you're both the progenitor and the world's leading thinker on measuring the success of IT and digital economics. What exactly is that, and why does it matter?
First, thank you so much for those very kind words. And the issue of why it matters, I think, is just really, really critical. I mean, the world spends now more than $5 trillion a year on digital and information technology. That's a massive number. But if you look at it in perspective, this is a hidden GDP. The GDP of only the US and China are larger than this technology GDP. So we have to focus on it very carefully. Number two, if we look at individual spending on technology, take away the global economics and all this fancy stuff and take away the company stuff and bring it back to a person. In a developed nation like the US, 30 years ago, maybe there wasn't a lot of technology for an individual person to buy, but technology was only about 0.5% to 0.8% of personal spending. Right now, it's up to 8% of personal spending in your life. It's just massive. And an analogy to just give to why we have to think about things much differently. And we're running this global economy now using industrial age measures. And in fact, if we had an automobile and we wanted to turn it into airplane, we'd have to add new capabilities and instrumentation. If we wanted to turn it into a spacecraft, we have to add even more. And today we're running this global technology digital economy using measures from industrial age. And that has to change. We need new measures to give us the insights into the workings of the way the world is going today. And in fact, that's why all this matters. We have to treat the economy as it is and call it what it is. It's a digital and technology-enabled economy. We're out of the industrial age, we're out of the information age, we're into a new age for the 21st century.
How are broader economic challenges influencing IT, and how should we think about them as we seek to adapt to these new realities?
I think the broad economic challenge is the volatility and speed of the world today. Problem is we're doing this discussion. The world markets are probably moving up and down 1.5% or 2% as they do almost daily. There's this massive volatility out there. And it's happening 24 hours a day, which sounds like a lot. And people talk about 24/7, but you take 24/7 in 24 time zones or so, and the world is a wild place of volatility. There's no way to cope with any of this without technology. There's no way to deal with the transactions. We see this in high frequency trading where nanoseconds make a difference without the underlying digital and information technology. So in fact, the world's economy, its behaviors dictate that we have the need for speed and precision and risk management. There's no solution that would allow it to operate without the fuel of a digital technology. And that's why we're in the state we're in, but that's both the exciting part of it too.
In your paper, you stated that industrial age economics play very little part in the digital era. Can you tell us why?
If there's a change in Caterpillar tractor or an Asian steelmaker, it does have an impact on world markets. But look what happens when Apple introduces a new product, or something happens with IBM or Cisco or one of the technology companies, ripples across the global markets with Google and everybody else. So in fact, the sense and response systems of the world inherently know we're in a digital technology and react far more on the behavior of technology companies than the industrial age companies. And that's just another sign we're in this new economy.
How do you define the relationship between IT spend and the performance of IT, and then the performance of the business in general?
The equation is always about, in this holy grail, it's the input of technology to the outcome. You always have to measure on the input side that you're doing the best you can with technology, and we'll talk about some of those characteristics, I believe, a little later. But the outcomes then in real business terms, and that's connecting the dots. It's understanding your technology cost of goods, your technology outcomes, and what you do on one side and how it shows up on the other side, and how the needs of that outcome side keep changing. And that's the holy grail. There's no fancy math or anything else. It's the thinking, it's the network of creating value with technology.